Hello, this is a tutorial on how to play Roses Are Red on piano, guitar, and ukulele. I will put the time of when each instrument has its tutorial in the caption, so you can just skip to that. But for piano, the chords we are playing are E flat minor 7, B major, except it's different and I'll show you. G flat major and D flat major sus4, I think. So for the E flat minor 7, I put my pinky up here on the G flat, my middle finger on the D flat, and my thumb on the B flat. And I'm actually playing F sharp major, but because I'm taking out the E flat, I'm just not playing that. So I do that. And then I go to the B major, but instead of playing the third, I just keep this here and play the second. So E flat minor. And then you go back to the shape for the G flat major, because that's what this chord is. And then for the D flat major, sus4, I think it is, I keep my pinky up here, because that's the fourth. Then my ring finger goes here, so it creates this like dissonance. And then my second finger plays the D flat, and my thumb plays the A flat. And for the verse and the chorus, the verse is actually E flat minor 7, then B, then G flat. That's literally the whole thing. And then for the pre-chorus, it just switches the order of the chords. It goes B first, then E flat minor 7, then G flat major, so you just keep this, and then D flat major, sus4. And then you play it twice. And then it goes into basically what the verse was, except you add. So E flat minor, B, G flat major, and then you add the D flat major sus4. And I'm holding the camera so I can't play the bass and the chord at the same time, but the bass for the E flat minor, you always just play the root, so it's going to be E. How do I even play this? Okay. Yeah, I do this, and then I play the B and the F sharp like a fifth, so it goes, you know, and then F sharp. You can play the fifth if you want. I don't think I do. And then C sharp. I don't play the fifth. So, and then for the pre-chorus, it's just B, this, and this. Or I'll try to play it together. Yeah, so that's basically how you play it. I did realize that for the bass, I just play E flat, and then I play the B and the G flat, and then I play 3 notes, G flat, D flat, and then another G flat, and then I play D flat for the last chord. And then for the piano solo, I mean, you can really play whatever you want, but I think I'm not even positive what I did, but it was something like this. So instead of playing the B down here, I just take the B out. And that's basically it. And this is how you play it on guitar. If you've ever seen my TikToks where I play it on guitar, I usually fingerstyle it, so it sounds like that. And the first step, you're gonna have to tune all your strings down by one step, or one half step. So like the bottom string's E, and then it'll go to D sharp. And you do that for every string. And then, oh, also I broke my top string, but that's not needed for this, so don't worry about that. The first thing you'll play is you put your index finger on the 7th fret of the 2nd string and your ring finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd highest string up here. And then the 3rd highest string, you just leave it open, you don't touch it. And you go bottom, top, bottom, 2nd highest, 3rd highest, so. Roses are red, violets are, you know, stuff like that. And then you move it down. Your index finger now plays the 3rd fret on the 2nd lowest string, and your 4th finger plays the 5th fret on the 2nd highest string, and you still leave the 3rd open. It's always open. So the shape's gonna look kind of like that. And up here, the shape looks like this. And then it's just like more open down here. So it goes. And you always do the same pattern: bottom, 2nd lowest string, 2nd highest string, 3rd highest, so. And then you pull it up here on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the 10th fret of the 2nd lowest string and the 12th fret of the 2nd highest string. And obviously the 3rd highest is open. So that's how you do that. And then you go down to the 5th fret of the 2nd lowest string and the 7th fret of the 2nd highest string. So you're gonna go up and down the guitar like this. And for the pre-chorus, it's, you just change the order. Roses are red, violets are blue, you know? And then the verse, it's like this, except you just leave out the last chord. You just play this. And then if you just want to strum it, you play an E minor. Make sure all the strings are tuned down, and you play the 2nd fret of the 2nd and 3rd lowest strings. So roses are red, violets are blue. And then the next chord you play is a C major. I put my index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd highest string. The 3rd highest string is open, and the top string, which I don't have, is open on these first 2 chords. And then on the 3rd lowest, you play the 2nd fret, and the 2nd lowest, you play the 3rd fret. And then I put you don't have to do this. You can either not play the bottom string, or you can put your pinky on the 3rd fret of the bottom string. So then it's, and then, so that's the 2nd chord. The 3rd chord is just a G major. So you'll play the 3rd fret of the low string, the 2nd fret of the 2nd lowest. And then if you have the high string, which I'm assuming you will, you play the 3rd fret on it, and that's a G major. And then it's D major, which you only play the highest 4 strings, and I don't have the top one, so Yeah, but the lowest one that you play, which is the third lowest string, is open, not empty. And then the third highest string, you play the second fret. And then, yeah, the second highest string, you play the third fret. Then the highest string, which I don't have, you play the second fret again. So your fingers will be like a triangle. Alright, so then to play, it's just like, I'll believe it when I see it. 'Cause you said you're moving on, you know. And then you change the order for the pre-chorus, like always. Slamming doors and crying out. It goes C major, E minor, G major, D major for the pre-chorus. The verse is E minor, C major, G major, and the chorus is E minor, C major, G major, D major. This is the ukulele tutorial. You have to tune all your strings down 1/2 step. I'll be referring to the high string as a string that's closest to the bottom of my body, and the low string as the one that's closest to the top, just because that's what I call it on guitar. It's really easy. The first chord is an E minor, where you have to hold the second fret of the high string, the third fret of the second highest, and the fourth fret of the second lowest. And then the lowest one, which is closest to me, is empty or open. So that's E minor. Roses are red, violets are blue. And then the next chord is C major, which is really easy. It's just the third fret of the high string. And then G major, which you hold the second fret of the high string, the third fret of the second highest, and the second fret of the second lowest. And then the low one, which is up here, is open. So E minor. And then the last chord is D major. And all you do is, I just use one finger and go across, but you have to hold down the second fret for every string except the bottom one. So, and yeah, the verse is just E minor, C major, G major, and then the pre-chorus is C major, E minor, G major, D major, and then the chorus is E minor, C major, G major, D major, and that's the whole song.